guys. I am on my way to John Deere right now. So last video I showed you guys that we figured out my rim was busted on my combine. John Deere trying to get me lined out, fixed up with that. Well, they did. You know, I went up there. I don't think I had shown it, but the guys said they had a rim. They had found one that I could use. Thought it was the right one. So I went up there and picked it up. Got back. We busted the rim, or not busted. We had to break down the tire because we had to put my tire on that rim. And so we had to break that tire down, put my tire on there, do the whole thing. And it's an inner rim, so of course you have to take off both duals. They weigh a freaking ton. It was a job. It ended up taking nearly all day. Well, we get it on there and it ain't the right rim. I guess it was probably the outer rim, and there's a difference. It's in the spacing. I'm running pretty wide duals, and they have to have enough of a gap between them that they don't rub. Because if they touch and they rub, it can rub a hole in the tire, cause a blowout. So we mounted these up. As soon as he started bolting them on there, I knew we were probably in trouble. The tires were super close together. They weren't touching, but they were very close together. I said, oh crap. And put the header on, and just the weight of the header had the tires touching at the bottom. So call John Deere again. They've been scrambling trying to find me one. We have found a wheel that I believe will work. I'm headed to get that rim and tire right now. We're gonna have to break it down again. We're gonna have to pull the duals back off. We're gonna have to do the whole thing again. Hopefully we can be quicker this time, because it was like 4 o'clock when we got done the other day. And really, you know, I want to cut. Good thing is I have been limping the combine through. I cut 60 acres yesterday. And so I at least haven't been just sitting, but I'm cutting very small hoppers and unloading. I'm cutting like a third of a hopper, and then I unload. So it's no big hoppers, and you can see where the tires are rubbing, but it hasn't like been concerning yet. But I wouldn't want to run it that way for very long. So it is always something, but I am hopeful now, headed to John Deere, that we'll get the right stuff. Appreciate everyone for tuning into the show and the channel. Please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, comment below what you'd like to see. Let me know what you thought of the video and all of that. I want to hear you guys' thoughts, and thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to get this rim, try to get back, see what we can get done. Sometimes things work out really well. So the tire that I had picked up the other day, it actually was a different tire than what's on my combine, so we had to put my other one on there. Well, really happy to see we just picked up my this other one here, and it's off of a used 780, I believe. But as long as it's right, it's the exact same tire, and it's almost worn the exact same amount, so it will be perfect. Maybe, I'm hoping that means we can just pull this other one off and slap this one on there and rock and roll, and that'll save us a huge step, not having to break the tire down. I mean, that was a godsend when I just saw that. So Ronnie will definitely be glad to see that as well. But I got the tire, got some coffee, headed back, and I'm gonna try to get this on there pretty quick. Fueling up, combine, drink some fuel. Here's the tire there. It's definitely a big old tire. Look good on my truck. I need to put about a 25-inch lift on my truck, and maybe I can try to run these on there. Probably take more than that. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, it is perfect. The tread, the remaining tread on that looks almost exactly how the tires look on my combine right now. So I think it's going to be a perfect match. Be nice, be very nice. I'll show you guys the other. So this is the tire that came on the other rim. That's the Goodyear tire, a little different, similar tread tip, but different look. This is the busted rim. It's kind of my Frankenstein rim. I've been tinkering with it. Don't judge my welding job. I've been just burning it really deep, trying to get very deep in there, and then grinding it off, coming back, welding really deep again, and then grinding it off again. I don't know. It split. It busted out the bolt hole, came out this way, came out that way. This one over here did the same thing, and it's spider webbed out. I don't know that I will ever try to put that on there again. I mean, I hope I never have this problem again. Here, you can see it on the inside. See the busts? You can see the spider web, how it ran. I have heard you can drill a hole at the end of the spider webs, and that's supposed to stop it from spreading anymore. I may try that, may do. But yeah, that if I do that, if I go ahead and weld it up like really good, it'll be just to have purely as a spare in a situation of basically just an emergency. But yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like. But I'm gonna get out here, get this tire hopefully put on pretty quick. The fact that we aren't gonna have to break it down is gonna save, I mean, that'll probably save a full hour or more of work, because we're gonna have to break down 2 different tires. So no, it'd probably save about 2 hours. That's huge. Very glad. So we're off to a good start. Hope it keeps going that way. All right, this is what you like to see. We got the tire changed. There you go. Perfect gap down there. And it's enough of a gap that when the header's on, they won't be touching. It's just like this side. Kind of looked at it and I was like, okay, yep. Matching now finally, because those others were nearly touching without the header on. Then when I put the header on, they really were. But see how perfect, I mean, this could not be any more perfect. The tread is almost the exact same wear. This is obviously the newer tire. This is the used one. Well, they're both used, but that worked out great. Putting some fuel in the combine. It's a late start because of all that, but that's okay. The granary is super slow. Our driver just got back. It was a ton of trucks in front of him, so I'm not sending him back today. We'll try to knock out this place, get it finished up today, and got a farm over there to get. These 2 little pieces on the road. We can probably finish all that today if we can store it. Be nice if I can. I just hope the grass is not as bad as that other was. So this is the view from up above the combine. I'll show you guys the inside of the combine, the hopper. So this thing holds a lot of grain. Oh, look at that. That's what we like to see. Made in the USA. I don't know for sure. This combine is, there's 2014. This combine's either a 2014 or 2015 model, but I'm really not sure which. They're not as big of a deal on that, like when you buy one. It's not like people, like on your truck, you want to know what year it is. It's not quite as big of a deal. We pay attention to hours. You want a low hour machine. This thing's a pretty low hour machine. It had like 1,200, 1,300 hours on the separator. That means everything that's turned on, you want low hours on the separator. The engine's got about 2,000 hours. So you go by hours, not miles in the farm world. But got I think maybe 2 hoppers total on the buggy. We got to drive around to the back of this field, cut those beans. This place is doing it's kind of lackluster. Wish it was doing better, but this farm needs a lot of work. They had panned some dirt on it and done a little stuff to it. It's been hurt pretty bad, so it'll be a project for me over several years to build the soil back up on this place. So this combine will probably hold every bit of this fuel. I think I've said it before, but it holds 305 gallons of fuel, if I remember right. It's got about an 830 cubic inch motor, so giant motor in this joker. Takes a lot of fuel. And this is the DEF tank right here. This is my fuel tank. There's the DEF tank. Holds a bunch of DEF. I don't even know how much DEF. It goes through a lot of DEF, so an extra expense that I have now. You know, that really, been thinking even more and more about that after I told y'all how much fuel this thing holds. My dad and I joke that you can put 100 gallons of fuel in a combine every day. Like, it just, no matter what, it'll hold 100 gallons. If you run the thing for 1 hour the day before, I don't want to drive off into this creek here trying to cross this culvert, but if you put 100 or spend 1 hour in the combine that day, it seems like you can still put 100 gallons of fuel in the combine. And you know, it's wild to think about all the costs. People talk about farming, how expensive it is. It's because it is expensive. It's super expensive. Think about that in terms of fuel. Let's say diesel, you can get off-road fuel for $3.50 a gallon. That's 350 bucks every day, every morning. You drop that in the combine. Somebody's gonna say, well, that's just seasonal. Okay, but you're talking doing that over the span of potentially 2 months straight. That's a lot of expenses. And I just was figuring, if you paid $3.50 a gallon for off-road diesel, because we run off-road diesel, high sulfur diesel in here, it's like no tax or something. That's $1,067 a tank to fill up. Think about that the next time it hurts putting gas in your car. Now, I know it's not the same as a car. You know, somebody's like, well, can't compare it. I hear you, I get it. But anyways, thought about that. Farming is expensive. All right, moved back here. This is the hill farm. It's actually back where me and my wife, we want to build our house back up on the hill, way back up there. But that was kind of our motivation in buying this farm. I bought this farm last year. Yeah, bought this place last year. And I've been farming it for a couple years, but like I said, it needs a lot of work. And I don't know, I see a lot of green up there. I'm assuming that's probably cockleburs, which I really hate to see that, but got a feeling that's what it is. Like I said, anywhere, when I planted this place, it was very wet. And so I got a really questionable stand. Came in, looked at it a lot, really thought heavily about replanting some, but it's always so hard to tell. You know, you think you need to replant, and you look and you see beans, you run over a lot of beans replanting. So I was very torn on whether or not I needed to replant. Made the decision not to, and it's pretty thin in spots, so you know, you never know. It's always a crapshoot, it's always a gamble. I mean, that's what farming is. Farming is a gamble. And so that is cockleburs, and that's terrible. Where it's not thin, it's clean. Beans shade the ground. Once you get that canopy and you spray the last time, it's clean. If you don't get a good canopy, that's what you get. Probably gonna end up having to cut around that. That's tanking the yield out here. I mean, the beans are not doing bad where they're at, but these big areas of grass, cockleburs and stuff like that, that murders your yield. So, first hopper back here on the hills, unloading it now. It's so nice being able to cut a full hopper. Like I said, I was not cutting but just maybe a third of a hopper since that rim was jacked up. So I forgot how long you can go. But unloading on the buggy here. It's about 20 acres in this part back here, and try to get this knocked out, and then it's about 10 acres total in the two pieces on the road up there. Get it all knocked out. We'll see how that goes on the truck. If that's a truckload, which I surely between this and what's left, it'll be a truckload. The two pieces on the road actually look the best, which is good. Hey, that's the advertising part. Did have some freaking cockleburs where that spot, like I told you, I should have replanted. See all the cockleburs in there? They always kind of rise to the top for some reason, so it looks really bad, but it's pretty good running, or well, I don't want to say pretty good running, but it's pretty clean now that I've gone around the edge. This farm here is not very good running. It's very hilly and rolling, and so this place needs a lot of work, but I look forward to doing what needs to be done on it. So I'm gonna get this thing cut and knocked out. All right, here we go. We will rock and roll. I ain't decided quite how I'm gonna cut. I like going at the rows at an angle, so this right here is not bad, but I'm gonna run into some ditches and stuff up here. This place, it has some horrible, horrible washes. Like right up there is basically the Grand Canyon. But right here, the beans are doing awesome. I mean, see 60, 59, 64. I wish they all were like these right here in this lower part. But you get up on the hill part, it needs a lot of work, needs help. The ground is just, like I said, they panned some dirt and it's just not been taken care of. It just, I don't know how they farmed it before, but it just needs help. I've actually got cover crop seeds sown on this farm. I don't think it's rained since then, but there is cover crop seed on the place. So I'm gonna try to build the soil back and get this place pretty productive. I'm gonna have to get with NRCS, our soil conservation office, to look at that. I mean, you can see it, look at that. It seriously looks like the Grand Canyon. It would swallow this combine if I drove it off in there. It's crazy. My deer stand's up here. Should have shown y'all earlier when I went by. I've got a tree stand up here. It's pretty nice deer out here. Check this beast out. Look at that, my lantern. Look at that. Lord have mercy. It's a cave under there. Underground railroad went through there. Dang. I don't even know what to do with that. I guess what my dad and I have talked about, how could we try to fix that? I don't even know without bringing in like 50 truckloads of dirt. I mean, it's bad. The thing is just washed away like crazy. I want to fix it. I'd like to get this one solid hill that flows, but dang, what do you do with that? Drop a comment below, let me know. What do you think you do to fix a dang washed out hole like that? That pretty much has that. I mean, I knocked out that field and these. I got the two little fields on the road. I have to run and go pick up my kids, so I'm not gonna get to. I wanted to move and cut those. It's not but 10 acres probably, but I gotta ride for just a minute. My wife she still works. A lot of farmers' wives don't work, mine does, so I gotta go pick up the kiddos and we'll see. I'm heavily considering picking them up and coming back out here, trying to move down the road, because I really want to cut those two patches. There's a chance of rain coming. This video, by the time this video drops, the chance of rain will have come and gone, but the next day, tomorrow for me, there's a chance of rain. So I'd like to get this knocked out, and I'd like to get on the next farm over there, because we've lost a lot of time. I plan to be a good bit ahead of where I am right now, but that rim busting, it really slowed me down a lot. And I'm just thankful I ran yesterday. I didn't really figure I'd get to run yesterday, and I just limped it along. So I'm gonna go over here. Brad is unloading on the truck. That'll load that truck. There's probably still gonna be some left on the buggy. And we're gonna call it a day while I run and pick up the little turd nuggets. And probably, I'm heavily thinking I'm gonna come back. I don't know, we'll see. I've actually got a podcast due tonight too, but that's not till 9 o'clock. So I think I've talked about it on here before. I know I have. I've mentioned Talk Dirt to Me and Living Fully Loaded. This is my podcast. Talk Dirt to Me is my cousin and Bobby Lee and I over on his channel. If you don't check it out, you need to. It's Hurricane Creek Farms, and he's cattleman. He's real big into the cattle and puts a lot of great information out. So you need to check that out. And it's me and him on Talk Dirt to Me. We very unedited agriculture discussions and conversations, and Living Fully Loaded, also very unedited, but it's different. It's, you know, I am very proudly American, strong Second Amendment supporter. I don't have a gun in here with me, but most of the time I do have one, and it's very, very pro-America. I mean, we just don't shy away from any topics. You know, we're not putting it out to be abrasive, but nothing is really, there is no editing on that show either. So those are my two podcast channels. They're both on YouTube. You can check them out. I'll put the links in the description of the video, but really would love for you guys to check that out. So I don't know if I'll have time to get back out here and knock those out. We'll just see. Maybe. I gotta feed my kids, so I'd probably be kind of dirty of me to be like, sorry kids, not gonna get to eat for quite a while because I want to go back to work. But I am a farmer, so you know that kind of comes with the territory. I eat late quite a bit. Probably why I have various gut issues at night, because I am eating very late quite often. But I'm rambling at this point, guys. Thank you for tuning into the video. Again, please hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Comment below what you would like to, what other videos you'd like to see me do. Any topics you'd like to see me cover. I'm a big movie fan, so if there's any farming movies, I don't know. You know, we see those veterans react. I'd like to do a farmers react. That'd be pretty good. Guys, shoot me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. You're awesome. Stay awesome.